The anointing of the head is with oil. The oil is made in claustrum. Now, this is what the ancient people said. There's two words. There's claustrum and there's colostrum. Colostrum is the milk that is breastfed by a mother. Not claustrum. But, you know, they're so close. I'm having a problem saying that they're not one and the same, because the ancient people said that down from the claustrum would flow the gift of life. Now, if you look on page 16a with me, you'll see on page 16a, see that paragraph that says the gray matter of the cerebrum? I'm not going to read all the big words, the gray matter, the cerebral cortex, the basal, blah, 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 blah. Get over to the right, the claustrum and the amygdaloid nucleus. Do you see the word claustrum there? Well, it's an interesting thing, because the ancients said that this was a holy place, because the gift of life came down from the claustrum. And it became the holy claustrum. And then it was broken down to Holy Claus, St. Claus, and of course you know it as Santa Claus, bringing gifts from the North Pole. And of course we changed that into some fat guy with Nintendos on his back, but I mean, that's not what the ancients knew that this was. Right. The claustrum, but there's a very interesting thing, and Rich, who's not here today, showed it to me. I thought this was fascinating. Where are you? There you are. I went to Maine yesterday. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just, I get with my head, and that's the end of it. But Rich came up with this, and he said, well, this is very interesting. I said, what? Well, he says all of this, the claustrum, as you can see here, is all going on in the cerebrum. That's the way you pronounce that. You don't pronounce that cerebrum, it's cerebrum. How do I know that? Because I have a talking Webster's dictionary that pronounces all these words. And when I put C-E-R-E-B-R-U-M in there, the guy said, cerebrum. I said, right, that's what I wanted, cherubim, cerebrum. But anyhow, what was interesting about Santa Claus and the claustrum, in the cerebrum, if you look up the word cerebrum on page 1 of the stuff that I gave you, and you look it up there, you'll see Latin brain, C-K-E-R below. And when you look down to K-E-R, you see a bunch of words ending in cerebrum. But look, cornea, corna, Capricorn, unicorn, hornet, reindeer. Wow. Do you see it? What do the reindeer mean? What does Santa Claus really mean? What does the claustrum, what do the reindeer mean? So then we looked, the oil that is used to anoint the head was called chrism. The oil that flows through your spinal canal, the oil that flows from the genital area, all that, the ancients called chrism, and the word chrism and Christ are the same thing. You see the word chrism, and it says used at baptism, consecrated oil, but there's a word there, if you look very carefully, you'll see that word C-H-R-I-E-I-N. All right? Now, if you go down to the very next word, Christ, Christos, and you see again that same word, C-H-R-I-E-I-N. So the word Christ and the word chrism are the same, and so anointing your head with oil, how do you anoint your head with oil? Most people will actually, in churches, they'll go and they'll get some oil and they'll rub it on a person's head. What is that going to do? So they'll make your forehead greasy. What is it going to do? Nothing. So how do you anoint your head with oil? When you do meditation, this what you call kundalini causes the oil in the spinal canal to rise upward up to the pineal gland of the brain. When it rises up there to the pineal gland of the brain, you have anointed your head with oil. The Christ within you has resurrected from the lower part up into the higher part. And that's how it happened. Many of the ancient people practiced celibacy for that reason. Because it was the chrism, was the semen, was the oil, was the cerebral spinal fluid that carried the electrical energy. That's the conduit of the electrical energy. You people are eventually, and I know you're going to be an electrical conduit to the universe. The angle that comes of the electromagnetic fields that will come down, that are coming down upon the earth, will hit your brain at a different angle that they're hitting now and make a direct line to the fornix. Because what is, as you can see in this stuff, and as I'll show you, what happens is the electrical energy starts at the genital area, moves up in almost an orgasm, drives its way through the solar plexus where it picks up the sun energy, then moves up to the pineal gland of the brain. And as you see in the handouts that I gave you, there is what is called stria pinealis. which means straight line to the pineal gland. And that's a straight line from the pineal gland to the fornix, which is the vault. And when that energy hits the pineal and rides up to the fornix, it'll knock that stone away. It'll blow that stone away. It'll roll that stone away, and that conduit will be open, and then you will be an electrical conduit to the universe. Everything is done in electricity. Everything is done in electrical energy. Everything. All communication is done in electrical energy through the brain. The words that I'm speaking, I'm actually just flapping air, which a lot of you know and a lot of people have said. But anyhow, the words that I'm speaking to you actually enter into your ears, and there are two little things hanging down that vibrate, which cause coded messages, electrical currents to flow into the brain where everything is translated into what you know as intelligence. Okay.